can't be built with the money proceeds of sale. So there's no point in Sally building it. I mean, however, she would like preliminary subdivision approval, and there may or may not be alternatives for a buyer who can handle that nut, if you will. And that would be up to, you know, whomever. If the board's position is there can be no subdivision, and I understand this to be true, without a full town road with all the requirements that continue to be placed on it, then we would get preliminary subdivision approval and see if it's possible to subdivide and build the road and get final subdivision approval. There's no other way Sally can do anything with this property other than keep it for herself and use it for herself with the frontage she has. So the road's required, and we understand that, and here we are. It's been a lot of work. It's been years getting to this point, and I mean, I haven't written it off 100%, but as the ticket goes up on the cost of the road, it becomes less and less likely that the current contractual situation and or subdivision that she is contemplating. It doesn't mean that someone else might be interested in helping Sally build the road and buy the 21 acres.
So that cost of the road was sort of a recent revelation?
The cost of the road 2 years ago was $70,000.
What changed?
If you want what the contractors are saying or what I believe, but I believe what has happened is COVID occurred.
Yeah.
I think everybody is very busy catching up.
Yep.
And I think that from their perspective, meaning the contractor's perspective, if they don't get a win ballpark out of the park, they have other work to do.
Yeah.
And a small road in a small subdivision, they'll do it or not.
Yeah.
Give me 150 or 200,000. I'll put you on my schedule this summer.
Yeah, no,
you want to do it for 80,000, wait until I have no more work 3 years from now.
Yeah,
you know, so it's the timing. It's a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So at $70,000, it was a done deal. At $200,000, the economics just don't work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that doesn't mean that it's off the table. It just means that as she envisioned it 2 years ago when this process started, it doesn't make economic sense at this moment.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that won't change next year. Doesn't mean that other avenues cannot be explored. There's other people interested in certain portions of the property. I won't bore you with all that though. We would like to know what we need to do to get final subdivision approval. And so that's why we continue to push forward. We're not trying to make anybody do work or anything for nothing. Nor do we want to have done work for nothing.
And you probably can get more money for the property now than you could 3 years ago, pre-COVID or whatever.
I think preliminary subdivision approval will put another, will focus contractors on this property that previously would not have looked at it for many reasons. And I think that if that's necessary to remarket it with preliminary subdivision approval and hard numbers on, and bringing up another point, if this is farm, that's one analysis because we're looking at no more than 5 lots at 4 lots at 5 acres a lot. If this is R45 and we still don't have a clear understanding of that, there seems to be a discrepancy between what the county believes, what the town believes, and what certain subdivision maps that have been filed with the town say. I'm not trying to make a problem where there is none, but I'm just saying to you that should we need to explore in the future another buyer for the 21 acres as a result of the cost of the road, I will need to know how to market it. And if it's farm, that's one marketing strategy. And if it's R45 or residential, that's another. And I know this board isn't in charge of that. I know zoning goes through town board. So, I mean, and I hate to be a bummer here. I'm just trying to tell you where we are, so you guys also, you know, I just, it has changed. The numbers have changed significantly over the time we've been working on this. So I just want to inform you of that.
Okay. John, did you have any comments from the engineering standpoint?
I feel like I've been a real buzzkill here.
Sorry, John, not trying to hurt you, just telling you.
So the reason probably the road is costing so much is because we're looking at this as a residential street. And residential streets have kick-up curbs. Kick-up curbs mean storm sewers. And that's what's killing your project, because we need to have the storm sewers. We need catch basins at the bottom of the hill. And we need a storm sewer that can be extended in the future if the road is ever done, if we follow that section. There is an alternative. We have another standard for highways. It's called a rural highway. And that's open ditches, shoulders and open ditches on the side. And we talked about this previously, and you all had decided that this was a residential and we should follow those standards. But there, not to throw it back on you guys, but there is an alternative design that wouldn't require the expensive storm sewers. If you're willing to have a road with shoulders and ditches and driveway culverts as a town highway instead. Otherwise, we're pretty well stuck with the infrastructure that goes with a curved highway.
And is that allowable in a residential?
Well, I think it's your discretion as to how you define this project. I mean, are 5 lots, the 5 large lots, does that constitute a residential setting, or does it constitute a rural setting? Not to throw it back on you, but I don't think that's a
Which that parcel is currently zoned farm.
egg. Yeah, you might have some.
The only devil's advocate on that is knowing different issues with the drainage as everything starts to go down towards Manlius and so on.
So we still have to deal with the fact we don't want the road draining onto the highway. So we've got to regrade it to create a low point
No problem.
off site, but it can be done with ditches and culverts instead of catch basins and storm sewers.
What are the other residents in that area? What are their runoffs handled with? Are they ditches, or is there
I
other?
mean, Brickyard Falls is a ditched town highway, yes.
So close by, there's no
I don't know the
storm?
one on the other side of in a private road. It's in a town of Manlius, actually.
Okay.
Frog's Whisker
Yeah, it's Manlius.
across the street in Manlius. Yeah,
Right.
it's just rural road. It's
I
not.
think it's open ditches. there, too.
Open ditches too?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Spruce Ridge is your closest residential, but it's further down Brickyard.
So this would be sort of a new setup if it were to be storm sewers and drainage and whatnot for that area. It would be different than what
It
typically.
would be similar to what Spruce Ridge and all the
Right,
high-end developments are.
right,
And that is the residential
code.
code.
Yeah.
Right? Not code, it's just highway standard. But
Yeah, yeah. And Jamie, we would have the discretion to make that determination as to whether or not we allow it to be.
I think that we have a lot of information. There's a concern that this would eventually be subdivided off into residential. That was a concern. I think we need to look at what the applicant actually has shown us is going to be done. And also it's a small part of the road. And if this should come into requiring more road extension at a point that it would be residential, then you could maybe kick in those residential standards.
it would
There's
require a
some-
reconstruction of the road at that point to
Right.
where
Right.
the applicant was
Mhm.
to put in the
That-
storm sewer in
And that wouldn't burden the applicant here, that would burden
the future.
the future.
Correct.
Because it is, what's the length of that road they're putting in? It's not much. Right, right. So if,
we build a road with shoulders and ditches for the 300 feet and then a high density subdivision gets proposed, that road would need to be rebuilt with storm sewers and
And we would be able to do that. There wouldn't be a precedent set that, you know, the applicant would say, well, you only put ditches in before, why can't we extend the ditches?
The answer is, it would be up to a future board to look at that, but we can also make a note on the subdivision map. That would indicate that these are, you know,
Only for that length of road.
yes, that, well,
any future extensions would require evaluation of.
Reevaluation of it, yeah.
future extensions and use of the future road.
Exactly. So for example, if this was just ended up being 2 parcels in the future with a driveway off this short road,
Right, it wouldn't matter much.
it wouldn't matter at all, I don't think,
Yeah,
or much, right?
yeah,
But if it was somebody that wanted to put in 6 houses or something,
yeah.
now you've got a little subdivision there. You don't want just a rural road. Where we are right now and where we are trying to get is much simpler.
Well, I get that. I understand that. I'm just saying that if I'm the future applicant, am I gonna say, wait a minute, why are you giving me a bigger burden than you gave the previous applicant?
I think if we put a restriction on the
Right,
map, then I
right.
think we'd be safe.
Yeah. I mean, the ditches keep the fire department busy,
Okay.
pulling cars out of it.
And I think when we first started this, there was a concern about how that was going to be developed, and it's become less of a concern.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and what would the cost, do you know what the cost would be for that?
You know, it's funny because certainly when we started getting new numbers in, and we really couldn't understand how it could be 3 years ago, people telling us X 70,000 and now it's 300,000.
I don't think it'll be 75,000 anymore anyway, however you do it, unfortunately.
So my understanding is that the ditch road, the rural road is not as expensive,
Correct.
but the cost per square, like I'm getting cost per linear feet of 350,000 for a full town road. And for a rural road, more like 100.
Right, so something more
Appealing.
appealing and reasonable for someone who might want to purchase, right? As long as that individual knows that if they're purchasing it to develop and put 5 houses back there, it would be different than,
What's there?
so yeah, we would definitely need to make some caveat,
Stipulation.
yeah, that person would know that they're not going to get a inexpensive ditch road put in if it becomes a bigger development. I don't know how we do that. I mean, does that go on the maps or?
It would go right on the map. It would be a restriction on the map.
Fair enough.
Certainly, we hope not to have to market it again.
Yeah,
If the persons involved are sitting right in front of you, so.
yeah. No, so that would still be preliminary because we need some other information, right? We're not.
Well, I think that this idea of there being for this subdivision, a preliminary plan is not going to be necessary. I think it goes straight to final plan.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a, you know, a 10-lot subdivision,
Right.
and you need the prelim and then you'll file them at different times. So I don't think it is preliminary. I think it would be a final plan if we should come to that conclusion for
Okay,
the
what are we waiting for?
county.
Okay.
So would we send
now-
county a different plan or what we sent them is enough?
I think that what we've sent them is enough. I don't think they're going to have a comment on the comment on
The
everything
ditch road
now.
thing?
On a ditch road.
No. And when the final drawings go to the county, they'll notice that we put that caveat in that,
They won't even, I mean, they don't even care. It's
Yeah.
voluntary. And it's all within the town.
Yeah.
purview anyway.
Yeah.
So, no, it doesn't need, that does not need to be different. But the question, what does maybe need to be different is what John is reviewing. Right?
Yeah, so if you give me direction to work with the applicant to get a satisfactory rural road scenario, we can hopefully get that done before the next meeting and let me
I think you don't want to
rework.
say anything at this point. I mean, we're just trying to
I can
crawl our
re-
way to the end, try to make what everybody can live with happen.
so we don't need to make a decision tonight. We just we don't need to vote on the fact that we want a rural road, or do we need to vote on
Give
it?
me some direction on that.
I think,
How to proceed.
some kind of a straw poll about it so that the applicant will know what direction to go in,
Yeah,
otherwise.
no, I have no problem with that. I think it's a good plan. I have a ditch road I live on and, you know, I backed into it a couple of times, but that's my fault.
Yeah, I don't have a problem either.
Yeah,
I think the open ditch would be fine.
yeah, you know,
Yes.
I don't see a big issue with that.
Let me redo my review memo and
What
direct.
I wrestle with my brain is would it be better to a private road and flag lot? Than a public road, but no, this is a good place to go.
So let me talk to Steve. See if he can redesign it under the railroad standards.
Still need a low point and we still need the culvert at the ditch on Brickyard.
Okay.
And some of the other comments will still apply. No storms.
Come to an agreement about it and I can get a couple more estimate. It's hard even to get estimate. Road people are very busy right now.
Yeah.
And it's a small project, but it would be helpful if we had an alternative from a cost perspective, so we know what to.
I just gave that to you.
Thank you.
So what does that do with the public hearing?
Let's keep going.
We still gotta
Okay,
open the public hearing now.
Well, it's
Continue.
continued.
Right.
We can either close it or keep it open for further discussion of this road. You know,
Well,
we can always just close. It doesn't matter. We can.
Oh,
how would the
close that,
public
we've
become
got-
aware of this further discussion of the road?
On Facebook now.
Are we live now?
We are.
Oh, we
okay.
came on live.
She fixed it.
Yeah.
We're on. It's awesome. That's magic.
Oh, I would have paid more attention to. Statements about the-
I will say this, there's no harm in keeping it open.
I say open it tonight if anybody's here to make a comment and then continue for one more.
Yeah, and we just close it next time and if somebody comes out of the woodwork, we'll discuss it.
And then having comments. So I make a motion to open the continuation of the public hearing on the Hoopnick application.
I'll second the motion.
Second by Kevin, and all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Public hearing is now reopened. Is there anybody here that wishes to address the board on the Hoopnick application for subdivision?
And Jamie, I have one other question.
Yes.
So the fact that we did our straw poll, as you'll have it, that's in our minutes
Mhm.
to protect the applicant?
Yep.
Okay, so we don't change our mind or anything.
Well, you can still change your mind, but I'm just, it's a straw poll,
No, I
but
don't want.
we try to give, we're here to
Okay,
direction.
help
Yep.
them. Okay, good, all right.
Anybody have any comments? State your.
Yeah, my name is Tom Pryor, and myself and my three brothers own plat 004.-01-03.6. I wasn't able to attend the first meeting. I did watch. My only concern would be, initially when I listened to the meeting last time, was just where the road was moving to. And then would that still allow us access to, our piece of land if that should be developed, down the road?
You say like road moving, basically.
I haven't seen the project.
Yeah.
See the design of the proposed.
Yeah. I got one.
And the road is down here.
Can you spell your name for me?
Pryor, F-R-E-Y-E-R.
Thank you.
Yep.
You want to come up and take a look at basically when they were talking about the driveway.
You can take it right over the table and down over there.
The question on the driveway is what appears
Where are you
as a driveway right now.
Those are for that.
on this map? Okay.
And your concern is?
Because I guess initially, the easement of the road, in the first meeting from what I listened to, was gonna move back, correct?
It's straight.
We
No.
Right here,
Yes.
and it was, initially it was,
That easement
No, I think it's
doesn't-
always been in that spot.
it has always been a spot, okay.
Well, right within this frontage.
Well, this is an easement of some kind of a private easement.
Right.
That is not disturbed in any way.
So the question down the road, should this be developed, would this be able to be extended?
Yes.
It would be.
That's why we're talking about
Yeah,
how
okay.
the road has to be built and all that.
Gotcha.
It could be, it might be that you would pay for that.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. No, exactly. I mean, part of this process, we don't have plans at this point to develop it, but we just don't want to be blocked out from any changes.
No,
They're,
that's why
what they were
that's why I
talking
understand.
about with the movement is there's what I would call a farm driveway there with a chain across it. That
Okay.
road is in a slightly different, the proposed road is in a slightly different location than that existing
Okay, yep.
appearance of a driveway. It's just off a little bit, so it doesn't
Yeah,
line
nice
up with the
stuff.
house across
Yeah,
the
I
road.
was thinking.
We can't say, we can't guarantee whatever road they build is going to
Oh, that driveway. This road.
be contiguous to us.
No,
Correct.
I don't think that's his,
Yeah, that's
she doesn't want to be foreclosed from having the opportunity to.
Yeah, I guess that's a concern would be.
Yeah.
That, and there's an understanding again.
I don't think we could landlock him anyway. I don't think that'd be allowed.
No.
Basically,
Correct.
all we have that is an
That'll still be there and then you.
Now.
Right, but that's an easement, that's like a county easement we discovered, no?
No, it's a 20-foot
Driveway
walking
easement.
easement really, and it was allowed
And it'll be extended.
put in there in order for those 5 lots
Yep.
to have access.
Right. The recreation.
Oh. Easement.
Must
Is there a way to get a copy?
I thought it was a
Paper copy of this.
The driveway have to be width line.
Well, back then, 20
Yeah.
feet driveway.
Yeah.
Driveway is, you know, single lane.
Yeah, two things we do in there, that fire department would require access to, but there's slope issues coming on the bridgehead, so you cannot.
I think we have a
put that up any more property.
Yeah.
Because you're way up here and by the time.
Right there.
There other comments, other questions?
So this,
Good example.
you can ask the
Yeah.
town clerk.
Okay.
That she should have it in a PDF. If she doesn't, Mr. Dunklin, I do have it.
Thank you.
It's a public record.
So the easement is a 20-foot easement,
Yes.
so that wouldn't be sufficient for a legit road.
No,
They need 60.
no, but the bigger detriment on that is where it comes into the road, Brickyard Falls Road.
Right.
There's no way you're putting a roadway right there.
Yeah.
It's a cliff.
So if
It
if
is.
it were to be extended for future development, it would have to have that width. To make it a legitimate road.
But they have a-
That location is a walking easement, I'm telling you, that it's
It's
only
not where the
20,
road's going.
tried and wanted
Line
to
up and-
make it.
Yeah,
into
yeah,
something different.
okay.
It's just located in a poor spot.
Yeah,
I don't know if you get a building. Yeah, I don't know what the rules are.
yeah.
Certainly not.
Any
funded,
other-
You know,
So you're not landlocked right now, but your easement is a walking path?
It's rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what is that easement?
It's a private easement. It's been there. It was given, there was some kind of access that was given on somebody's,
Like you said,
Something.
a recreational easement or something?
I mean,
Or
ingress,
I have
egress.
some history on this. If you really want to know, I can tell you what the history is on it. The land across from the Clearwater subdivision was purchased by several people that were living on the Clearwater subdivision so that they wouldn't have people building. They would have nice site views, and a restriction was put on building on the cliff on the other side, the cliff itself. 3 of the landowners purchased land together. The Friars did a separate deal, but all the landowners on the other side got the 20-foot easement to access that side. Then when father, Mr. Fryer, passed away, the land on Clearwater was sold separately and the other parcel was never merged. It remained a separate parcel, similar to Sally's situation, Budnick's situation. Other landowners ended up merging their properties from Clearwater across. The Fryer lot and Sally's lot remain separate. Now Sally has made hers contiguous with her larger lot, and the Friars have a separate parcel there. And, you know, for better or worse, they separated it from the large, you know, their Clearwater lot. So it's now an individual parcel.
Yep.
Any other people here to comment on the Hootnick subdivision?
I have a question. I'm Eric Schwades. I'm on Watervale. You guys last meeting went through a list of environmental impacts, and everybody voted there would be no impact. I'm on the downside of this. Okay.
Let me clarify that on that seeker, there's only two possible answers. One is no or small impact. And then the other is a definitive, yes, there's going to be a major impact from it.
Okay.
So if we say no or small impact, okay, if you're talking about like water runoff, okay, yes, there could be a little bit, but it's not like
Significant.
yeah, it's not as significant that somebody built like Beaver's building a dam or something, but you know, put something where the water's going to be held up, and then all of a sudden that let goes, or you know, something like that that's much larger. There's a lot of things that, yeah, there's going to be some effect, but in reality, it's not going to be foreseen as a large, significant impact.
So what is your concern?
I'm a novice, and I know you said last time that you're not voting on or determining the potential use of this at this point. You're merely considering the subdivision.
Right.
But in the long run, if you're talking curbs and you're talking roads and you're talking anything like that, I obviously have a concern. I can't remember the list of 10 things that, or 12 things, or whatever it was, but in the long run, if there are septic systems and everything else, and coming back my way, I'm not an engineer, I don't know, but certainly it's worth asking the question, what could happen, groundwater, any of that stuff, coming back my way.
So if it goes further where the road gets built out for a subdivision, at that point, we would have another environmental impact statement to be done. And the engineer would look at those issues of drainage and the impact on surrounding properties and everything. So that would be re-looked at. We only are looking at this little 300-foot road with 2 lots.
Right, which I understand. I made that clear last time. Yep. But once a road's put in, there's the concern, there's the foothold, and is it starting? And so I think it behooves me to ask that question now.
Yep.
To try to just understand.
It's a good question. And it would require another public hearing, another notification, another engineering report, another notification to the county, and another environmental impact statement. But more importantly than that environmental impact statement would be the engineer is looking at it from the perspective of how is the drainage going to be handled? What's going to happen in the large rain events and whatnot? And that's really more of an engineering thing, John, if I'm correct. When they're designing the road, it's not really the environmental impact statement we're worried about. It's where's the runoff going? And that's why we talked about.
If there's any further development, we have to look at all your concerns in detail.
But if you put that road in,
it's just all they're approving is a 300-foot
the hammerhead.
2 lot.
Yeah.
Nothing else can happen unless that process begins all
over again.
And I apologize if I repeat, but again, I'm just trying to wrap my head around the need for the hammerhead when I see so many shared driveways on Broadfield or on Brickyard. And here we started the meeting with the understanding that you were going to do curbs and drains. Now we've kind of shifted a little bit to something a little bit more like a driveway, but it's still a road. Whereas if you look at the 3 houses on Broadfield, there are 3 houses sharing a driveway. Here we're only talking 2 houses. What's the difference?
We're talking,
I apologize.
We're talking about road frontage. There's an issue about meeting the road frontage requirements of the town.
Sure, which was the same issue in Broadfield, I believe. That's why you have 3 houses.
I don't know the Broadfield issue offhand, but I think there is some provision for private drives, but this is not it doesn't meet those various criteria.
Well, wouldn't this
So,
be a private
Well-
scenario or just, or we are talking a development?
yeah, I mean, we looked at all those issues. I don't know the broad field, but I know for this that we had to meet certain road frontages that we could not meet.
And by the way, the
And I-
ditch is not like there's not going to be drainage. It's just a different type of drainage. It's still, you're still going to consider the issues of runoff.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Just, it's exposed as opposed to in a pipe.
But still, you take into account where's that water going to go and how much water will there be?
All this road is draining out to Brickhead Falls anyway, so it's not going, they're not
We're
over.
talking this road.
Yeah.
Future plans, we're gonna have to.
Future plans will probably go to the top and start to drop down towards you. If that property gets fully developed. We'd have to look at all
Right.
But they're right. We're looking at this, it's a 2-lot subdivision. All these steps we're going through that if any parcel comes back for future subdivision, right back to square one with the whole process and the whole evaluation all the way through. And like anything, plans can change. It could stay a 2-lot subdivision forever.
And sometimes that rural road is more difficult for the town, like I'm on Windy Hill Lane and we have ditches and the town comes and cleans them out when they get filled up to ensure that the drainage is going where it's supposed to go and not into my front door. So you design it no different than you design the closed system. It's just open, if I've got that correct. Yeah. Not a hillbilly road.
Nope.
Rural road. I hope that helps somewhat.
It does.
I like that. I'm gonna design a hillbilly road.
Yes, I've driven on hillbilly roads. There's some around here.
Mr. Sweet, where do you live?
4310 Watervale Road. Our property, the small portion of our property, that's the. I know there are.
I mean, it's good concerns and they would be.
Anybody else here to comment, question? If not, I'm gonna make a motion, we continue the public hearing until the July planning board meeting, which is July 18th, 2022.
Second.
Seconded by Carl, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries to continue public hearing July 18th.
Is there anything I can do to assist in moving the county forward on their comments, or is that just?
No, it'll just come. Yeah, when it comes, it'll be here by the next meeting.
Be sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, all good?
Oh, good.
All right. Thank you on that. That leads us to our next topic. Radar Dome project is presented by Lockheed Martin Corporation, 3254 Windy Hill Road. That's mailing.
Yeah, it's a mailing address, but it isn't.
Town of Pompey.
They don't deliver mail out there. It's a hillbilly area.
Parcel number 015-02-22.0. It's a preliminary review presentation, site plan. And basically it's about adding another dome on the Lockheed Martin site. Fees have been delivered tonight.
I mean, I live on that road. I don't need to recuse myself.
You do not.
Okay.
That's the whole thing. People from the town are making decisions about their town.
So
Unless you have a financial interest.
No, my wife tells me that that's where they keep the little green men. That's Area 52. They had a new security guard there at one point, and we were walking our dogs, which we do twice a day, down to the end and back. and the security guard came flying out and he asked us what we were doing. Said we were walking our dogs. So he cleared us and we were able to leave.
There's the whole fox. Baby
Family.
foxes running around.
Right there. Yeah, we see them. They come out on the road. Yeah.
Saw the last time I was out there.
Yeah. What pulled them out is the neighbors logged all that back there and it shoved them out forward. But yeah, they're cute to watch and we get to see them and whatnot. So yes, we have a good relationship with people at the end of the street. Try to keep the little green men.
Keep mind that.
Exactly.
Just a brief overview of the project. Like as you mentioned, I think it was 2015 was the last time we were actually here in front of the board for the one that currently exists right now. Obviously, the radar business has been pretty good for Lockheed Martin and the government contracts they've been getting, and looking to expand into a new one, a little bit smaller than the one that currently exists there right now, for a smaller radar testing system that they have. The location of where this new dome has to be was 150 meters from center to the center, I think it was, or no, I'm sorry, 50 meters. And then so we got 150 feet basically round numbers apart from center to center of each other. So it kicked it quite a bit further to the north than what I was expecting actually, but it still stays within the pavement limits of where the current pavement is right now. And it's going to miss the new, there's electrical service. There's a new electrical building they put a few years back. It's going to miss that electrical service that comes down that hill and feeds the panels that this system's going to connect to and be powered off of. But that's about it. We're not gonna, it's not going to be as big of a cut that they did in front of the last one. You can see where they kind of had to go into the embankment west so they can get these ships in and out of there. That's not going to happen on this one. It's quite a bit smaller.
That's the existing one.
There's existing that we're just going to be building upon.
Yeah.
This is what was in the package.
Because you left
Just
the pad
gotta bring
from
Something I can see.
there was a previous installation there that you took down that you left the concrete pad.
Sure.
I don't have a way.
Yes, and that's actually between the existing
Well,
dome and the existing building that's there. There's still a concrete pad that sits there. Yeah.
But not big enough to do this.
No, the distance doesn't need to be either.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep.
For the minute, can you give them, Jamie, your last name?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mark Chambers.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mark,
Any pictures that show us?
Pardon?
What's the diameter and what's the height?
It is the diameter at the widest point. It's like a soccer ball, basically, right? So the foundation sits inside a narrower part of it, and then it comes out like this. It's 50 feet wide at the widest spot, and then it's height is, I can't remember now. It's like 32 feet, 28 feet, right around there.
Part of the ball's in the ground.
No, it's actually on a curved. Well, let me back up. This one's done at a reduced grade. The other one had a 3-foot ring wall around it. This one's down actually going to be much lower than the other one, by 3 feet lower anyway, at least. I think it's even more than that.
And you parked the radar trucks in there to test them?
Radar trailer is where it is. They packed the trailer in there.
Yep.
And actually, this is the correct orientation, correct orientation of the door area right here. They'll pull in here, back
Where's
down.
the building? Where's the
Just off the plans. It's right here.
Yep.
That concrete pad you're talking about is right here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So are they the same as the ones that are at Electronics Parkway?
Yeah, exactly. There's actually the one on Henry Clay side is the exact same model as this one. Exact same model.
What's the construction? What's the dome made of? Is it a fabric?
It's like a plastic, like a plastic paneled section comes apart in pieces.
It's an absorbing material, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to make that stuff.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, with this dome that was done back in 2015, the doorway had to be oriented this way, which caused for a big cut back into here. We're not going to be doing that on this one. This one's gonna be a much less, say, of a scar area. This whole section here is all currently paved right now.
Yeah. Yeah, he did a sizable paving project a couple of years ago.
Oh, with the new building and all that, they kind of revamped a bunch of the pavement
Yeah.
up there in that area, yes.
Where? Oh. He lives there. I drive up in there with a school bus.
Mhm.
Show me where the two gates are, or the gate that.
You're off the plan, that's off the plan, it's way up in here, up in that area over there. I think there's a general plan. That's what I'm finding.
But I was looking for.
Okay, well, it's not, you know, we can put-
4 pages.
Can I get
Yeah.
one?
Still want to be able to turn the bus around.
We're not even messing with that end up there,
Good.
not even messing around with that.
First he looks at, what are you doing up here? Turn around.
Yeah, like walking the dogs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, they're spy dogs.
Russian.
Yeah, Russian terriers. So,
Right.
so really, it's not gonna impact any of the existing access and building. It's gonna be in the back.
That is gonna be way in the north.
Yeah.
end. North end of the site.
Yep.
Twice as many trucks now.
As far as getting in, well, they have a radar that sits in this thing. That's all it is. They're gonna have one trailer is gonna go in this thing and sit in that thing.
Oh, it's not gonna be in and out, in and
They'll
out.
take it in and out periodically, but there's some of these sitting there for months on end without even taking
But,
them out.
you know, they brought a piece of equipment down today. They're in and out of there in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Those drivers unload that thing and it's like,
They do.
What are you talking about?
That building that they built here a few years back is their test center.
yeah.
Where it talks back and forth between the radars and their centers.
Something.
A lot of these sitting there for.
Yeah, and the weird thing about it is your
Sorry.
weather station is in Casino.
Yeah, the target site.
Right, so you have to go talk to them if you do anything over
Yes.
there, yeah. so
Yes.
That's interesting, yeah,
True.
it's doesn't really impact anything because you're not doing anything with the access or the gates or the fences or any of that.
Right, yeah, they need a direct shot across there. Everything's up elevated, so high, there's no obstruction from point A to point B across the way.
Yeah,
Will there be any? Or?
There will not be any creek clearing on this.
So this is gonna go on the end of the concrete. This is shaded areas, this concrete pad.
It's, yeah, I think it's asphalt out here. It's asphalt, pretty broken up asphalt, but yes. There's some cable trenches in there. Those are.
So- The trees don't interfere with your work, obviously.
Yeah, no, all of it's over, all the target, all heading this way. Across the. from east.
over in Casanova, what's the road in Casanova?
Oh, God,
Where the receiving,
yes,
there's a target, as you call it,
can't think of it on nothing.
yeah.
Grassy.
Grassy Lane, I think it is.
Yeah, that may be it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right with that. That about sums up the project. Like I said, as far as power, there's panels here that the equipment's gonna be hooked to and connected to from here, so it's just gotta be brought across into that point.
But there's no site work, there's just,
Very minimal. You're gonna, the pavement where the building is going, where the dome's gonna be, will be pulled up. We'd like to resurface this, make it a little bit better because it's tough shape.
where the dome is gonna go, there'll be a concrete pad.
Be concrete foundation and a ring foundation and a concrete pad.
Yep.
Got it. And it'll be bolted to that.
Yeah.
With a little bump out area for where the door enclosure system sits and bolts to the concrete. There it is right there.
Is there a sketch of it more like a 3D or like what it actually is gonna look like?
It's gonna look the same as the other one, just smaller.
It's like a soccer ball, actually, but yeah, it's gonna be a little bit like the other one, but smaller, yeah. But I can get a rendering of what it looks like, yes.
Yeah.
I'd get it on the ground and then
Stay in there.
That's a good plan.
To your point, this has the radius and then all that. And it's the ring wall to the outer outer, the southern panel section and all that.
Yeah, I was just asking.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, okay. Gotcha, gotcha, thank you.
Yeah, a profile. would be good.
Profile and also in relation to the existing one also.
Yeah, so the scale of those.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
When do you want to start construction?
They'd like to start as soon as possible. Yeah, they start sometime in July. August.
Yeah. So that's the existing zone right there. And so it's just gonna be up here.
Exactly.
Asphalt.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So same kind of dome. You can actually see it when you're coming back from Casanova.
It's just white geodesic.
Yeah.
Your point, back in the day, there used to be.
Basically, just so we schematics to put in the file.
Here.
Yeah, that's where's the pad? That's the old site right there. Yeah.
Cause that
And I think you park generators or something on there.
is in, of
So.
course, all the communication overlay sounds and stuff. This is one of those, we have the Sevier site. And this was the other site that's been there forever, as opposed to the new overlay law. That if somebody wanted to put in a solar tower somewhere else, that they had to do an overlay. This is pre-existing
They're like,
communication part.
yeah, there are lots of turning around. So yeah, so it's just, we're gonna have to fix that up a little bit because that's old.
Yeah, that concrete pad you're talking is. Right.
Well, here's the old one.
That's the old one.
You know how much garbage they own north?
No.
I know.
This little green man.
Big piece.
Yeah. Kevin, your thoughts on,
Yeah,
it's an existing.
Absolutely. Yeah, in fact, where that pad is where they're gonna put these, they had in the past, similar old fashioned. Yeah.
So it's truly just, I just want to make sure that it's truly just site plan.
Yeah, I think that's all it is, because
As opposed to what?
Like if somebody wanted to put a cell tower in somewhere in the town now that you, like,
I believe
you would have to go through and.
This is
in
an
the
overlay.
overlay.
Yeah.
okay, right.
Yeah.
So
We follow whatever's in the overlay district, the rules of the overlay district.
right, I mean, we don't need a public hearing and notifications and EIN, and
Site plan, no.
Well, site plan,
so we got to go through environmental impact and all that,
yeah, it's still a site plan,
and a public hearing.
yes.
Yeah,
We did
okay.
we did a public hearing for the last one.
Yeah.
All that, and I know we did. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's just a regular.
What's the setback? How far is that gonna be from the parcel?
From the northern line?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, it's at least 50 feet, quite a ways back.
So it'll meet the setback for property lines is,
That's what I'm,
what is the setback?
I don't know.
I'm ahead, I don't remember now.
John?
What's the underlying zone?
Is it ag up there?
Yeah, it's rural.
Okay.
We'll put the dimensions on there too as well to help clarify all that is off the property lines and
150 front, 50 side, 100 rear for rural.
So this would be side.
Yeah, and the maximum height is 35. I have to read the overlay and see if it's anything. 35.
Yeah, but you said 28 or 30 is the height.
30.
Yeah, I'll have to look at.
Clarify that with the elevation. Rendering.
Repeat the distance, I'm sorry.
If rural is correct, I don't know. I'm only reading the underlying zone.
Okay.
The overlay may have totally different standards, which we have to research. But rural is 150 front, 50 side, and 100 rear.
And this would be the side, I think, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
To the
It'd be to the, it would be east would be the side, so.
Right.
Yes, and that actually, that property line goes way down the side.
I thought it's not that line, that black line on the plan.
No, it actually goes down the hill,
Oh, okay.
down quite a ways.
Yeah.
Down that one.
If you could show us an overall.
Yes,
of the whole
we need
property.
We need the whole
Yes.
property.
We do, put that on there.
I would take care of all those.
Yes.
things.
Yep.
And then check your height too, and I'll check the overlay as well. The communication thing, there must be a waiver on the height.
Right?
Yeah.
True.
Or whether you.
But I think we're under that anyway, though, but
Okay.
again, we'll verify that.
So your plan is to try and do all notification and everything for the next meeting?
We have all,
We'll have, on our end,
if
we'll
you
we'll
look
be able
over
to
what,
make that happen, but
I mean, they paid their fees tonight, so I know that part's. We got that.
Yes, I mean, we should be able to get all these questions done, and I don't answer the question about the overlay, so forth, and if he's not right, we'll let him know if it needs the height variance or anything.
It's shorter than the one that exists there now.
it is.
So the one that exists met the height requirement.
I don't know that because I wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think you had to get a variance or anything with that one. No. But
Yeah,
It's got to be otherwise.
Right.
And on our end, to you guys' point, we'll end up getting say a larger scale map showing where the property boundaries are. We'll distances off of that to where the stone's going to be. Get some renderings of the facility of what it's going to look like in relation to as well to the old dome, just so you guys can actually see that, and then we'll have things dimensioned up.
this don't stay, right?
Correct.
Oh, yeah,
It is.
Any lights associated with it?
There's a little red light on top of this thing. Just like the existing one that's there has a little red light.
The airplane don't hit it?
I think that's what it's for, but I don't know that for sure. It's just a standard on every one of their domes that they have. I don't know why,
Green men.
but goes with the green man.
Yeah.
Let you know when they're in residence.
Yeah.
Light down.
For seeker, you should address the endangered species and the archaeological sensitive stuff that came up in the environmental.
Yeah, you should have never mentioned the foxes.
Okay. Yeah, I know, right? Right. Okay, you're right, too, because they did come up with a couple.
Endangered species and archaeological sensitive.
Okay. All right.
You have a triple sign off? May have had to have done it previously.
I think we did, yes. I'll take a look at that.
Yeah, I would get the file from the previous
Yes.
dome and pull
Okay.
that out.
That was there, I'm sure it was, yeah.
How long ago was the other dome?
15.
Yeah. 2015. So Stu, you were here, right?
Yeah.
I think I was probably, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember it being any big deal or any.
In the record.
I have everything together for July.
Boy, it looks like a chicken egg. It looks like half a chicken egg.
That will need to be filled out.
Okay.
Egg data statement.
Okay.
Because it's within 500 feet of the farm.
Yes.
operation.
What farm is contiguous with that property?
Within 500 feet.
The farm, did you say?
It's in an egg district, and if it's within 500 feet.
Another farm.
Oh, another property.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But you said farm. Yeah.
That's being farmed.
Yeah, is there something being farmed within 500 feet?
Who's farming?
Carl's renting up in there.
He's behind my house, but I don't think he's.
That one that goes.
On Windy Hill Lane?
I think I had checked and it was. It
I don't think
More than 500.
I'll double.
Yeah, I don't think Carl's, he had in the past, he did stuff in Crolix and,
Yeah, I did check.
but that's all.
Nikki did.
Oh, did you?
Didn't she? I thought-
Yeah, no, none of that's being rented. It's all just being mowed by.
We'll check that, 'cause I think also too, Nikki told us not to fill that in because she didn't think that was
I will get it
an
right here.
impact, but or have an impact on the ag, but
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone within 500 feet that's farming it.
yeah,
I mean, I got some tomato plants.
that was go.
Yeah. Just double check for something
Okay.
we need in
Yeah.
time, if not.
And hops, I got hops.
That does.
Anything else we need, Jamie?
I don't think so. We're looking at the overlay.
Okay, on our end, like I said, we'll hurry to get the resubmission back in for you guys
We
to,
can get those in.
Are we gonna try and do the public hearing next month? They have time for that?
if possible. I'd like to do it if we can.
You got to do the notification? So we'd have to give them a list of people.
We're responsible for that, right? Or who does?
So I think you're responsible. Nikki gives you a copy of what the letter is. And she'll give you who the people are.
Okay.
So,
Came up with a list. We just have to.
yeah, you probably the same list that you had last time.
Yeah.
Your point's like, you're right. I think Nikki generates the list and then she gives it to us to.
Yeah, I think
Right, she'll even give you a form letter that you
Yes.
copy and.
Yes.
That's funny, actually.
If the room get answers so we can get it to count.
This.
It's the creation.
Okay.
Can this go to county at the stage it's at right now? As far as,
We had to fill out the applicant or the
Jamie,
referral form.
can this go to county in the condition it's in right now?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and then we're trying to do a public hearing next month.
That would be fine. We're just a little confused about the height thing, because we don't see anything in here that changes the underlying, it's an overlay, got that. There's nothing in here that changes the height
What
requirement.
is the height requirement for the underlying?
35.
Right, and the one that's there now is what?
Gotta exceed that.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but
It's
it's
probably within the
it's right
35.
within that. We
Yeah.
never.
Oh, you think?
Think it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, so this one's gonna be shorter, so I don't think that's an issue.
Well, make sure we have
I'm sure you have a drawing somewhere.
We'll show
Yeah, we have all the dimensions.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good.
But that would be our plan. I'd like to try to go for a public hearing next meeting. And then if they can go out to the public or the county planning now, just get their comments back.
How does he get it to county planning? We do that?
Yes, Nikki does it, yes.
So you talk to Nikki,
No, I talked to Nikki.
you were talking to Nikki? Okay. Just checking.
No.
And they already have the list of the people in the neighborhood?
Yeah, the 1,000
Mhm.
each
Yeah.
parcels. I can send it to Nikki.
I have to scrutinize that letter very closely.
Okay. Any other questions?
Nope.
So are you with Lockheed then?
With CNS Engineers,
Okay.
Mark Chambers.
You're with Lockheed?
I'm also with CNN.
CNS. Lockheed supposedly
Give
on,
me your name.
Yes.
That's
Kate
today.
Burka,
She's the
CIT.
silent person up there.
Oh.
Well, that happened, but-
OBRKA.
But Lockheed's keeping an eye on you to make sure you're doing the right thing.
Yes, yes. I don't know. Jeff was supposed to be on today, but.
Someone is under me, so.
Making sure they get what they pay for. Right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Right.
All right.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have down.
Who's more than?
I think so. No, nothing yet.
Where did I go? What's your address?
3169. I'm in the 3000 block, 3169.
Yes.
What's that? The Best and Hyder one did all the logging back there.
They have Crolix and Best and
Not too far away. Rob Fells and I.
Hyder.
I wanted to create a product.
Do we have any other business for this evening?
I have a question. It's really not business and we don't have a code enforcement officer, but I asked Renee about next door. Anybody have any idea what's going on there?
The sheds?
No, the property next door that's like falling into major disrepair. Renee has told me at one point that we had a contract or they had a contract with the farm.
Ask to take the barn down.
Right.
Somebody was on there.
Yeah.
And Renee had told me that there was a contract. What's that?
I make a motion that we.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed?
All right, so
Meeting
meeting
is now over.